Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Jill from JillOrtizFitness.com, and I'm so glad that you're here to listen to my story, to get to know me, and just hear a little story of my rise and my fall and my rise again. I've told this story many times. It's continuously evolving as time goes on, and I think there's always lessons to be learned, inspiration to be had. I dressed tonight, and say hello when you get here if you're watching live. I dressed tonight in my coziest sweater to feel that comfort and that safety, because opening up about your lowest lows can be vulnerable and uncomfortable. I wouldn't be surprised if I get teary-eyed or cry on this live, but I always feel that it's important to tell your story because it could help somebody. And so I'm really excited to get intimate with you, is my point. And I like to do these live because I like for there to be interaction. I like to see your reactions as I say things. And when you identify, hit the like button, hit the hearts. If you're watching on the replay, throw a comment below. If you're watching on my website, on my blog, on YouTube, or wherever it might end up, comment and be interactive with me. Ask me questions because I know that they come up and you might have them, and I'm happy to answer anything that comes up for you. If you're more comfortable reaching out to me personally, you can always do so via messenger, text, phone call, Zoom, email, however it's most comfortable for you. But I want you to know that I'm here for you and that my mission is to help and to help others so that they don't experience what I've experienced, that they don't spend the time that I did struggling and endure the pain that I did in my journey, feeling alone and helpless. And so reach out. I am loving and caring and truthful and honest, and I can also be brutally harsh. But as I prefer people to be straight up with me, tell me the truth, tell me like it is, and help me improve quicker, that's how I like to be with others. So of course, not everybody is meant for each other. And I never feel bad if somebody doesn't connect with me. It's understandable. I don't connect with everybody either, but that's why I can only be my authentic self and connect with those who are meant to connect with me, okay? So my story started when I was a baby. No, my story really started when I was in high school. I was a 3-sport athlete. I played field hockey for a year, hated it. Too much running, softball and basketball. I was the captain of the softball team. When I got to college, I played softball, and I also took up golf in my senior year. So sports were really, really important to me. My sister is a Broadway actress, and I was the athlete. I was always also the number cruncher, the smart one, the one who had it all together, the older sister. I graduated from college, got a job, started climbing the corporate ladder, got my MBA, and I felt that my place was to be somebody important. I had actually studied abroad twice before, once in high school and once in college. So I had worldly experiences because I knew I needed to build a really strong resume in order to have a really important job. I wanted to work in international business, so I studied in Chile and became fluent in Spanish. I also gained 30 pounds during my study abroad in Chile. And that was my first time that I felt really uncomfortable with myself and uncomfortable with that weight gain. I learned that I was a stress eater and that, that I was uncomfortable with myself at the weight that I came home at. When I went to college, I knew I wanted to excel. And so being international business was where my eyes were, and I loved travel and cultures. I decided not to go the easy route. I didn't want to go party in Ecuador or discover the rainforest in Costa Rica. I went to China and I learned Chinese, and I had a hard time. I ate a lot of carbs and I gained some weight again. It was hard. I couldn't even communicate with my roommate for a good 5 out of the 6 months I was there. And so again, I turned to food when I stressed out and I gained more weight. After college, I was doing good. I was climbing the corporate ladder. I got my MBA, I got my real estate license, and I worked my way up to a 6-figure salary by the time I was 26 years old. I met my husband on Match.com and we got engaged, we got married. I got promoted again to New York City and was in an important job and continued to ask for more money, demand my value, show my worth. And 6 months after we were married, I had a major back injury. We were looking for our dream home, and in somebody else's house, I had a fall. I was up and on a ladder in somebody's house looking at a loft space, and their ladder wasn't secure, and I fell 12 feet. I damaged my spine, I tore my calf, and that to me was a pivotal moment in my life. I had actually gotten fit for my wedding. And that was the first time I had ever really lost weight. Face it, I had only gained. And so when I hurt my back, everything changed for me. I stopped playing competitive softball. I was sorry for myself. I was angry. I was angry at my lawyer because he was a douchebag and made my life harder. I was mad at the homeowners who hadn't secured their ladder. And I was mad at the realtor who let me go up there. I was mad at the realtor who tried to say it was my fault instead of her client's fault. And I was mad at every doctor that I went to because nobody could figure out how to help my back pain. So I suffered in anger and pain for 6 years. I packed on a lot of pounds watching The Biggest Loser while eating a gallon of ice cream. And I was miserable. Even though I was climbing this corporate ladder, it was really, really hard. In 2014, I was at my lowest low. I felt alone. I didn't know how to change my position. I didn't know how to lose weight with my new body post-fall. I couldn't do any of the old exercises I had done before without a lot of pain. And I thought that that was just my body. I had gone through 2 pregnancies, which made my back pain worse and made my belly look worse. And again, I was sitting at this uncomfortable weight, not knowing how to fix it. I thought maybe it was just my post-pregnancy body. What did I know? I didn't know what happened to a woman's body after she gave birth. I didn't even know what to expect during birth. Let's face it, right? They don't teach you that in school. And so I felt very alone, again, miserable, in pain, and I didn't know what to do. I used to go to the gym during lunch every day and try to get as many hours as I could at lunchtime and then again after work to burn calories, but nothing was working. And in my gym was what they call a Medi-Spa, where they perform cosmetic procedures. I walked by that place so many times and never went in. I didn't know what it was, but one day I decided to go in and figure out what it was. I went up to the desk and I said, "Hey, what do you do here?" And she said, "Go take a look at that book on the table over there." And I started leafing through this book of before and after pictures, liposuctions and tummy tucks and breast augmentations. And I started to feel like that was my only resort. That's the only way I could get the body back, or the body that I never even had. And so I made an appointment with the doctor. I went into him and he gave me his best pitch. He told me how he would take my body from a 0 to a 10 and that it would be the best thing I could ever do for myself. He told me that the procedure was $5,000, but if I signed on that dotted line that day, that he would give me $500 off. So I texted my husband, and the impatient person that I am, I signed on the dotted line before he even answered me back. And I signed up for plastic surgery for liposuction. It was going to happen just a couple weeks later. I went in and I had the procedure. I came home. I couldn't care for my kids. I felt a little embarrassed. I didn't want anybody to know what I had done. I remember one day I went to get up from the bed and take off the compression suit that I was wearing to hold me together. And I unzipped it and immediately screamed and passed out on my bedroom floor naked. My husband came in and I was so ashamed of what I'd done. I didn't have a 10 body at the end of that procedure. It never came, and I was mad. I still didn't know how to get results. The weight, the fat that he pulled out wasn't that much. It didn't make a difference. And I still felt ashamed. I felt even worse. I felt lonely, and I still didn't know what to do to get my body back. And it was about 6 months after that I was on Facebook at work on my lunch hour, and an ad popped up for a 21-day fitness program with a nutrition system for portion control. And it said you could lose up to 10 pounds in 21 days. So I looked on the post to see who else had liked this post. And it was my college boyfriend and a girl who I had just hired in my office to be our HR manager. At that point, I was the VP of Finance and Accounting. And so I went into her office, and I said, hey, I think this might be something that I could do. Can you help me with this? And she said, yes, I'm actually a coach. I coach that program. I coach women who want to lose weight, and I help see them through. And so I said, all right, set me up with that. And so she did. And so she became my coach. And I started that program on day one. And she said, every night, what I want you to do is email me, right? And tell me, what'd you eat? What exercise did you do? How much water did you drink? How much did you sleep? How do you feel? And I did. And she would email me back and she'd go, good job. Keep it up. Do it again tomorrow. And we did that for 21 days. And I would see her the next day in the office and thank her for her email back and thank her for her support. If I had questions, I would ask her questions. And I knew that somebody was there for me. And in 21 days, I had lost 10 pounds. And so I did it again. But I went out and I got heavier weights. She told me to. And I did it again. And I did the advanced version. And I lost 5 more pounds. And so I had lost 15 pounds in 6 weeks. I had dropped from a size 12 to a size 6. I felt like I wasn't alone anymore. The women who were in my office who had been really catty with me, who didn't like me because I came out of New York City and I had gotten a salary because I demanded a salary that was about double what they had been making, they didn't like me for that. But when I started losing weight, I started feeling better about myself. I started walking around the office with a smile. They noticed, and they noticed my weight loss, and they asked me for help. And so I became a coach. I signed up as a coach for the same program that had helped me change. And I started helping these women who didn't like me to change. And they started to like me. And I felt that validation, and I felt that somebody needed me. And it really helped me to stay on track with my own journey when I was helping others. I wanted to be the example. So I started looking for more people. I started sharing. She, who had about 30 friends on Facebook and used to yell at her friends to take down the pictures if they ever put something up of me, started posting on Facebook. My sister called me out immediately. What are you, the selfie queen? Why are you sharing all this stuff? And I told her I was going to change lives. That was 7 years ago today. And that was just a jumping off point. That business, it was a hobby for me, really. I decided I was going to build it. And my passion grew as I started to help more and more women. And it got to the point where I didn't even want to be at work anymore. At 12 o'clock, I would open up my computer and I'd start working on my lunch hour, trying to help as many people as I could. And then at the end of lunch hour, I'd close my laptop. I would go home, I would make dinner, I would get the kids to bed, and I would get back on my laptop and build this business. I decided that I was going to get out of my job and make this my job. And eventually my business started to grow, and I felt more and more excitement about it as it did. And my vision and my dreams of staying home with my kids and being a stay-at-home mom, putting my kids on the bus and taking them off, I could see it. And so when lunchtime came, I would grab my computer out. At the end of lunch, I would close my computer, but people would still kind of message me. So I would still text them back on my phone. And eventually my boss brought me into his office and he said, Jill, I know what you're doing. Everybody in the office knows how much you love this, but you can't do it here in the office. You got to stick to your lunch hour, no extended lunch hours. I said, I know, I'm sorry. But it kept happening because I couldn't deny my passion. And there was one day that I remember that I was driving down to the office crying because I did not want to go. And every Friday I had been saying my in-laws, we would have dinner at their house. And I'd say, I just want to be fired. I don't want to be there anymore. And my parents said, don't you dare get fired. You finish what you got to do until you get your business big enough to where you can leave. And one day when I was crying on my way down to the office, I got in, I started doing my work. And as soon as that 12 o'clock hour hit, I took out my laptop and started working. And at 1 p.m. on the dot, I looked up and I went to close my laptop, and my boss was standing there. And he said, come with me. And he brought me into the conference room, me, VP of Finance and Accounting, who was waiting to move into the CFO role. I walked in, and John, who was the CFO/HR, was there. And my boss sat me down and said, Jill, we're letting you go today. And I felt the biggest relief of my life because he burned my boat. And I couldn't sit and pretend anymore in the office. And he said, you have a passion and the skills and a business. You don't need to be here. We're not serving each other. So go build your business. And I packed my stuff up and I headed out. And I drove about 20 yards to the Target parking lot and started crying. And I called my sister, ashamed, scared, because I wasn't making enough money to have lost my 6-figure salary. I was afraid of what would happen when I told my husband that I had lost my job. And I didn't want anybody to know because I had lived a life of success. And so I hid that from people for so long. I told everybody that I had left to go build my own business, but I was panicking over the bills and what was going to happen. I started running all around town because I had also gotten certified to teach fitness classes on the weekends because I really loved this business and wanted it to work. And so I started running around town to every gym, asking if I could teach a demo class. And a few of the gyms let me. And a couple of the gym owners kept turning me away. And every other month I would drive by and I'd stop in and I'd say, hey, it's me. Can I teach here now? And they'd say no. And I kept going in. Eventually I started teaching at one place. And then I got a call from another place. And then I got a call from another place. And all of a sudden I was working at 3 gyms teaching group fitness. I wasn't a certified personal trainer yet, just group fitness. And people in the classes would start to ask me, hey, Jill, how do I get your arms? How do I get your abs? How do I get your butt? And I'd say, I'd love to show you, but I need to get certified first to be a personal trainer. And so that's what I did. I got my personal trainer certification. I added more group fitness certifications. I added nutrition certifications. And in 2020, in March, I was teaching 10 classes a week at 3 different gyms, personal training at the different gyms, running from one to another, working my business from home as well that I had started years ago, 5 years earlier. And I was personal training at home. And I had pieced together a decent income, enough that I could be home for my kids, teach summer camp, enjoy my jobs, enjoy my time, and it was going pretty well. And then the pandemic hit. And I remember the call from the schools, the robocall saying, hey, we're sending your kids home today. We're not sure when they're coming back. I was at the gym when we got that call, and the gym owner said, hey, we're shutting down today and we're not sure when we're coming back. I thought maybe it would be a few months. So I started teaching classes on Facebook for free. And I did that for 6 months, making no money. I got unemployment, which was like $200 a week. And in September, my boss called from one of the gyms and said, hey, we're gonna open up. And I want you to come teach a class. Just one class. So 1 hour a week, I was gonna be employed. And I went and I tried teaching a class, and we were all wearing masks, and there was 4 of them, and it was awful. And I left that day and I said, I think I'm done. And so that was when I realized I had to pivot. I had to change something. I started to research, how do I make a virtual coaching business? How do I teach online? And because when you start talking about something, whether it's Alexa hearing or Facebook or Google, they start to feed you things that you need. The same way Facebook fed me that program I needed to change my life 7 years ago. And so I was fed a post by a coach who said she was offering 15-minute calls for fitness professionals who wanted to create a lucrative business training virtually. And so I signed up for the call. It took 4 calls with Hannah for me to say, yes, I'm in. And that was for $8,000. I was panicking because once again, I had 0 income, and my husband had just been laid off too because of the pandemic. But I invested. I knew something had to change. And when I was lamenting over the decision, Hannah said to me, Jill, are you willing to stay the same? And I said, no. I thrive on growth. And I didn't know how to grow on my own. And so I invested in Hannah. And within 3 months, I had doubled my investment in income from my virtual coaching business. I had taken everything she told me to do and ran so hard with it. I was on every call. I maximized my one-on-one time with her. I tried things that failed, and I just kept going. I honed in on who I wanted to help and what my message was, and I just kept pushing. In 2021, I made way more money than I ever did as a VP of Finance and Accounting. And I am looking forward to 2022 being my best year ever, because my whole heart is in this, and I continue to grow my passion, to grow my skills, to get more organized, and to just feel the joy of working with more and more women who are struggling with where I was. And because of the same consistency that I've had in my fitness business from day one, February 2nd, 2015, I decided I was all in. And my coach in that business recognized me yesterday as the top coach of January for my consistency, for hitting my goals for 84 months in a row. And I feel good being my own boss and being proud of myself for my consistency every single month since I signed with Hannah in October of 2020. And I am so confident that I can help every person who signs up for their journey with me, that I can get you to your fitness goals, because I know that my fitness goals have been easily achieved because of consistency. I happen to be somebody now who's really good at being self-motivated and consistent without having to report to somebody. But really, I report to all of my clients. I feel compelled to stay on my journey because I need to set the example for you, for my kids, for my friends, and for anybody who ends up even in my world. That's my accountability. But if I didn't have my coach, my person who had my back, who was there every single night to answer my emails at the beginning, I never would have stuck out that 21 days. I never would have gotten that win. I never would have signed up as a coach because I wouldn't have had the confidence, the energy, and the strength to do that. And so it's not the tools that you choose. They are very important. And I can teach you about that and why they're important. But it doesn't matter what tools you have at your disposal. It matters how you're going to stay accountable and who's going to put your feet to the fire if you're not doing your job, if you're not showing up. It's people who change lives. And if you don't have somebody to be your champion and to back you when it gets hard, because if you are waiting right now for the right time or to be motivated, shit hits the fan every freaking day of your life. You got to know that by now. It never gets easier. There's always something that's going to try to get in your way. And so you can't wait for the right time. You have to make it the right time and learn how to push through the hard. And if you can master your fitness and your nutrition in the hardest times, then you are going to ace it in the easier times. So that's it. That's my story. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. If you want to pop them below, if you want to reply in a private message, if you want to email me. But I have faith in every single one of you who are watching this. I know you can achieve your goals. I want to make that path clear and easy for you because it's not fun when you're on that hamster wheel, when you're yo-yoing, when you're frustrated because you don't know what to do. I am a NASM certified personal trainer. I am a certified group fitness instructor, including step, kickboxing, HIIT, strength training. I'm a portion control nutrition coach, a mindful nutrition coach. What else? I do a lot of things. I know how to get you the results that you need. I even designed HIIT treadmill runs. But I know that we can do this if we plan and we make your path really clear. If you're struggling through menopause, I got that certification too. All right. So know that I got your back. All you got to do is reach out. If you're going to be in any of my upcoming challenges, I want you to give it your all. I want you to show up, because if you can show up with energy on day one, that's the motivation you're looking for. All right. You guys take care, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for joining.